It's Caddy fun time again. So this one, basically I unloaded all the pots I got the first time, kind of go over them in semi-detail of why I grabbed so much of it and what pots will definitely be used and what might be used. And then I went to the swap meet up in Epping, New Hampshire, and it was a total flop. So that was a wasted trip, but that was 2 hours out over here. And then from there to where I got the Caddy from, it was only 3 hours rather than 4 hours straight from me. So I figured rather than just drive back 2 hours from the swap meet, I'd go that way, save an hour, and then come back down. So it made it only a 7-hour round trip driving than an 8. And I got a bunch more pots. Just like I was thinking, and a lot of you were mentioning, I should make a second trip for a lot of the stuff. So I covered that. So there's some time lapse in there of pulling the pots off and whatnot, what I got. And let's see if it was worth the trip. Thanks for checking in. Here we go. And at the end, I forgot to post wrestling the Caddy off of the U-Haul trailer. So I'll just put that in at the end, just because I hadn't posted it yet. So if any of you guys want to see it, there it is at the end of this video. All right, well, it's been a couple of days. Time to get this stuff out of the bed of the truck. So I'll just put on the time lapse while I unload it in case anything funny, awkward, or terrible happens while I'm doing it. And then we'll kind of survey the pots a little bit on why I grabbed them, because I don't think I kind of covered much of why I was grabbing extra pots while I was there, because I was in a rush. So we'll see how short we can keep this. Let's get to it. All right, let's go over some of the parts haul and why I grabbed some of the stuff. So as you know, I have the 4-door wagon also, not just the 60 I picked up here. That wagon was partially taken apart and painted and never really put back together right. But I grabbed stuff like that panel there with the power window switch. This is the driver's side one. Visors, because I know at least one of them was going to need that. This is the piece of trim under the bottom of the hood. I think it's missing on both of my cars. And just a bunch of random trim pieces. That's the extra tail piece that is like behind the gas door here. This is the extra gas door. And all those trim pieces and the gas door are missing on my wagon because the way he converted it. This bumper here is pretty rough, the centerpiece, but it's better than the one that's on the 2-door. So it was sitting there, I grabbed it. Grabbed this door because I need this piece of trim for the passenger door. Even though this is the driver's door, I believe they're the same side to side because they're exact same contours. I don't have any of the window cranks or these pull levers or this mechanism for the mirror here. That's the control for the mirror. So I don't have that. I don't have this piece, I don't have this end piece, I don't have this. I'm not even sure if I have armrests in that thing or not. And I know I don't have these. And these door panels are pretty much savable. This trim piece here is cool, and I do have all 4 of those. And this is reupholsterable, and then you can remake the bottom of the door panel. And it has the puddle light in it, so that was a huge bonus. Same thing with all those door panels, window cranks, pull handles, all that stuff. And I needed that piece of trim there also. And I'm sure I'm going to need all kinds of random hardware and stuff like that once I start getting into it. So that's a quick rundown on the doors. And I'm not sure if any of these trim pieces are bad on mine, or if I'm going to need clips from them or anything like that, or window regulators, because these are power window regulators, and my 4-door over there has power window regulators in it. One quarter I'm missing this trim piece, and the other quarter it is pretty mangled, so I needed both of those trim pieces. The two-door I just got, the driver's side here is mangled. So if it's too mangled to straighten, this is a really nice piece outside of this bend here, which that's easy. That's just rolled over. That one's creased and V'd and it's been hammered and everything else. So at very least I could cut this off and use that piece. And that's my buddy Ken. Sorry buddy, I'll call you back in a few minutes. And then also on these quarters, I'm missing, see this separation point right here? I'm missing this trim piece all the way forward on both sides. So these are good patch panels, trim pieces, and so on. I know I'm at least missing this piece of trim. I wasn't sure what I have for fender well trim on the front, so I just grabbed this anyway. Wasn't sure about that trim, but my trim is better than that one. And this does have one of the T3 headlights that I like in it, if you can see that there. And it looks like it's good, and I don't know if this trim piece is better than mine. And again, possibly needing hardware. This was the other hen's tooth piece I was looking for. This is, this might be two pieces, but I need this. And I got the rest of the trim was here, but it just kind of came off in hand. That's sitting over there in that pile. So that's a good amount of trim that I got, patch panel pieces that I got, and so on. And as you can see, they're both rotted over the wheel well, like I was saying on the two-door, that it's super common. So you never know, I might need a patch panel, like I might need this triangle brace on one of them or something like that when the time comes. Or if I want to just simply bend up and make this, I can cut out a centerpiece out of the panel, have the exact gauge steel to graft in if need be. Probably not, but just random thoughts. And to take all the pieces off of all this stuff safely with not all the right tools where I was would have taken probably another day. So it made more sense to just throw it in the bed of the truck, take it back here, process it down as I have time and know exactly what I need, so I'm not wasting too much time. Oh, and then there was the bumper. Yeah, so this bumper, at first glance, it is real rough. But you start looking at it as far as these parts not being available. This license plate trim piece is in really nice shape. It's a little bowed right here, but the chrome's gonna clean up good on that. It does have 2 extra marker lights in it and some of those trim pieces for in here, if any of mine are missing or damaged. And then this top piece is in far better shape than the one on the 60 two-door. And I don't know if I need any spare bullets to repair any of the other grills or anything like that. The bottoms, they're all wasted and so on. But this top piece here is actually in better shape than the one I have, even though it is pretty well bent. But I may be able to bolt it down and pull that straight. You never know. So yeah, and like I said, just a bunch of spare trim. That's the side trim there with the Cadillac emblem, spare light, glove compartment door, all the seat trim that was missing on the 4-door because the seat was reupholstered and none of that trim came with the seat. So that's awesome. And again, the sun visors, those are pretty nice. Those could be cleaned and dyed. So pretty excited about a lot of this stuff. So with that said, we'll just stop this video right here, and I'll probably tie this in with either pressure washing, cleaning, or seeing if the motor will spin over at all in the Caddy, something like that. We'll try and group it together so it's not just a boring unload video. Let's get to it. Well, pulled off the highway to grab something to eat. I saw there was a food sign, got off. There's a McDonald's, not my favorite, but gotta get something in me so I get there and I'm not starving like I was the other day. So anyway, I mentioned about the scenery while you're driving up here, and I didn't really get much of it on the highway, and then the ride home it was totally dark. But I was pulling out of the drive-thru over there, and I see this. Whale tails hanging out of the ground. I have no idea what it's all about, but we are very far from the ocean, and I don't know, but check out the scenery. this is what it's like up here. And the highway is just right over there. So you are getting some of these views just right from the highway. So that's pretty cool. We get some stuff like this down in Mass, but it's not super common. But that is pretty beautiful. That sky today, everything. I think that's pretty phenomenal. And the temperature's down, and this is how big these things are to me. I'm gonna say that's probably 15 feet tall. I don't know what they're all about, but I think we're near Randolph, Vermont. If somebody cares to look it up. Oh, yeah, hold on. There's a little sign here. What is this? His final project and source of great joy was the installation of whale dance on this glorious site. Thank you, Paul. That was a good scenery. All right, back on the road. Back to work. All right, we made it back up here. It's still here. It still has the spring and the control arm in it. Still has the steering column in it and stuff. So, and it still has the AC vents, which I was kind of regretting not grabbing those because I'll probably put a vintage air in one of those, and a lot of the aftermarket vents are pretty terrible. So these designed for this dash, I'll probably grab those, maybe even the whole bottom of the dash, because I think I'm going to take the whole steering column rather than try and get the wheel off, and at that point the bottom part of the dash might drop off. But take a little walk around since we were here last. But it doesn't look like anything's been touched. There's the rear body panel, and it is a little crusty in there, but it's got some sections I might be able to use. There's our spring we need, control arm we need, and so on. I don't know if I'm going to bother grabbing all the AC stuff or not. Likelihood of me putting in a factory AC system in this, I don't know. But yeah, that steering wheel, all the centerpieces are way nicer than mine. The holding buttons function really nice and whatnot. Not sure if we'll find anything else we're gonna grab. Maybe I'll grab the power seat stuff where mine doesn't function in one direction. Either way, we got an empty truck bed. I'm gonna switch into some dirty clothes and we'll set the camera up and we'll get going. Sorry about the bad sun glare. I didn't bring the umbrella for the camera or anything today. But that was some death-defying stuff trying to get that thing cut out of there, and then the spring popped out of there and all that. But we got it. We got the spring and the control arm came out with their salvageable. I had to cut both ends off. I was hoping not to cut the end off the axle in case somebody needed it, but the bolts weren't going to come out, so I just cut the ears off. If somebody needs, it's an unboltable center section, so maybe somebody might still want it for that. And then I forget what your name was, but you showed up to pick up the other rims. There's a rim off of it right now with the triangle pieces in there. See, those are the triangle marks. I think that defines it as a 60. So if you're watching this, I think one of those other wheels that I pulled off the two-door, I think one of them was the wrong one. So just double check. If so, there's one sitting beside the car, and you can reach out to the owner of the shop here and see if you can swing by and grab it. And and jacking it up to get that control arm, I was bummed because all of the pull strap for the right rear door was missing. Here's the inner trim piece that goes inside. It was literally under the tire on the ground. When I pulled it up, I saw the back side of it. So that's a bonus. That I wasn't expecting to find. And then also on the ground, I'm cutting off the quarters, found one of the bolt-on pieces for the fender skirts. So I'm going to take that just in case if I need one for one of the two cars. All right, let's work on the column next. Well, we've got a bit of a payload so far. Grab the rear panel, got the control arm, the coil spring, the lower dash with the vents, and that's the bottom middle vent also, and it's got the AC controls in it. And then a bunch of the hardware, the bottom cover for the steering column. I grabbed the cap because I know I got at least one broken plug wire on the two-door that I'm going to try and get running. So I grabbed that, and I grabbed this. This is a vacuum canister for the brake booster that hangs in the fender. That looks in good shape. And I'm not going to bother grabbing the AC heater box. It's such a big thing where you probably can't buy the parts. I think I'm just going to get a vintage air setup. And the seat, I got all four back bolts out, and the front bolts are super crusted over. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to see if I can cut the heads off of the outer ones, this inner ones that are just as crusty or worse. But maybe if I get the other one cut, maybe I can get a chisel under it, snap the other one free. If not, we're going to have to walk away from this. But we're getting there. And I got to decide if I'm grabbing the right front door for possible power window mechanisms for the wagon. I'll decide. Oh boy. Oh, all right, brother, thank you. All right, everyone, that's the last of it. I am a filthy, sweaty mess. I am done dodging the hornets. Turns out they are in the heater box, or the AC condenser piece, or evaporator rather. So I'm done ducking those. Did get the seat out. I didn't think I was going to get the seat out, and I wanted to make sure that I got the steering column and the dash out. Had I known I was going to get this, for sure get the seat out, I should have done that first rather than work around it. But I didn't want to waste effort on the seat and run out of time or batteries in the tools or whatever I was going to need to get the parts I needed, so I worked around it. Hindsight, yeah, I should have wrestled that out first. But anyway, this is what we ended up with. So I'm going to take the whole seat set up because it's got all separate transmissions for all the different functions everywhere, and then the main drive unit and all that stuff, and then this is a relay box, and then that's the motor that drives it. Yeah, so it drives out of this motor. Yeah, this is the motor. It drives the cable into this transmission, and then it distributes here, decides which one to pick here, and this is a relay to switch probably forward and backwards on the motor. And then we got a transmission here, we got another transmission there, and another transmission there. So we got 6 transmission pieces, a gearbox, and a motor. So that should help out with mine, I'd imagine, and all the cables. So that's good. I did take the passenger door, just in case if I need power window stuff and vent window stuff and whatnot like that. We did get the control arm and the coil spring out of it. So that was satisfying, and not that the thing's ever going to drive. But let's take a minute to appreciate this custom homemade trailer hitch. So I'm thinking these are factory bumper brackets, and they just welded on a piece of angle iron, and then they welded on a piece of flat stock to come out, and then welded this on to bolt to the bumper, I imagine. But then they wanted the bigger ball, so somebody added this piece. See, it's got the chain hookups here, and then this is just bolted through. So that's just sandwiched under it with one bolt to get to the bigger ball or further away, maybe. But I mean, somebody did the work. You know, they cut it out around the gas filler pipe. They added an extra bolt hole here and there and welded it to these brackets. Somebody did the work. That's how it used to be. Nowadays, you can just go online and order a trailer hitch for almost anything. But I figure you might appreciate that. And we did get the dash out of it. We got the steering column out of it. And I got the vacuum canister out of it and the check valve. And I was thinking I was going to pull the valve cover and pull some push rods in case if I need them for the other motor. But the wagon motor is locking up, so I'm pretty sure that's junk. So I can probably take parts out of that motor. The AC, I'm sure somebody needs some of these AC parts. I just ain't got it in me. I'm calling it. Radiator support, that's all rotted down the bottom. I don't think either of mine are. See, the bottom's all rotted. So I'm not bothering with that. And yeah, I grabbed the brake pedal. I was going to grab the booster just as an emergency backup, but it's all rotted in the back and whatnot. So yeah, the steering column. I did grab the cob. I'm going to see if that's got a special. This is probably an idle kick up for the AC. It's got 2 electrical connectors and a vacuum line to pull this and kick it on a higher idle for the AC, most likely. So I'm going to see if that's available. If it's not, maybe I'll pull it off and sell it as a cord just to get it in the market. I don't care about making money on something like this. It's just, I know sometimes some of this stuff is unobtainium and much needed. But I'm excited for the control arm and the spring just to make that a little more yard rollable. And yeah, and I'm going to leave that tire off next to it. Hopefully that guy might need it, and we'll go from there. So now, the loading, the wrestling, the heavy seat, and the heavy dashboard, the heavy seat and the heavy door into the bed of the truck and siding the rest of this in and getting it tied down. We'll see if I can get it in and under the cover. I highly doubt it, but we'll give it a shot. All right, well, that's it. That was 3.5 hours. So I definitely didn't have enough time in that day. But a couple of people mentioned that I probably should have got a hotel room, came back the next morning, and that would have been the smarter thing to do. But I didn't think I was gonna really need anything else. Like I was like, I kind of do away with it. But when I saw the steering wheel was pitted, and there were problems with the power seat, and then I was thinking about the power seat in the wagon. I don't know if that one works, and whatnot. And then I was just like, you know what, let me make a trip. And today I was going up where I was basically gonna knock an hour off the trip anyway, so that made it 7 instead of 8 hours round trip to here and back. So that's a little more acceptable. Time for the journey home. I don't know if this might be the last of this video. If so, thank you very much for stopping in and checking up on the progress on the Caddy. I know it's not really progress on it yet. It's just gathering parts and giving it a look over and trying to free the motor. But we're making progress. Getting parts, every bit of it is progress with these things. So, see what happens next. I'll do a quick walkthrough now that it's actually daylight out and show you the cars he has for sale now. So, failing. It's like 18,950. There we go. Somebody was asking for the contact info in case somebody likes them. This one's 18,950 also. Galaxy 500. Like automatic. I don't want to try opening the doors or anything. Ooh, we got a trailer hitch on this one. We got the Edsel Corsair. Not sure what model that is. I don't know Edsels at all. Ah, they got a floor shifter. It's a race car. 5950. Another Edsel. It's got a 302 badge on it. Is that some weird Edsel motor, or does it have a Ford motor in it? I know Ford and Edsel were together, weren't they? This one's a Ranger. Edsel Ranger. Kind of digging the fender mounted mirrors. And this thing, oh, he's got the little air scoop down the bottom. Hood pins. This thing's ready for the old school circle track. 8950. Yeah, with the automatic shifter in there too. Could be an M or something. Oh, 60 Starliner. 460 V8. That's what that is. Ford V8 custom. Oh yeah, so 51 flathead V8. $16,950 on this one. Ford Fairlane. Same floor shifter in that one. We got this T-Bird. This thing's nice. Oh, got the side pipes on this one. I think I heard him pulling out with this one. Another B&M shifter. And he's got the hot rod over here. This thing's nice. Is that plum crazy purple? Is that a Mopar color? $29,950. 28 Ford steel body coupe, 350 V8, auto, air conditioned, power windows, power seat. Wow, I don't see stuff like that with AC and power windows, power seat, and all that stuff. And then we got this little guy, a little Volkswagen kit car. And we got the Ford. What are those called? Carryalls or something? I forget what those two-door Fords were called. I think there's a tag in the back window. F100 panel van, $23,950. All right, that's it. We're out of here. Time for the journey home. Well, we're back. Got home at 3 o'clock in the morning and didn't get much sleep, but we made it back in one day. It was a long day. We'll go over the details on that later, but where this back wheel locked back up, I'm leery that when I stop moving it off the trailer, it might free up or it might continue to drag, so I don't know what to expect. So where I was going to drop it is not safe if it wants to break free. And if I want to try and contain it, it's going to be a ton of work. So I'm going to move a couple of cars, and I'm just going to drop it right in the driveway. That way I can jack it up, pull the wheel off, get it freed up, and then I can just roll it around with the tractor afterwards and put it where it needs to go for right now and whatnot. But basically, the goal right now is I got to get it off the trailer so I can return the trailer before that turns into a third day's charge. So trying to keep the cost down. So if it goes over another day, it's like another 80 bucks. So let's work on getting this thing shuffled around and move a couple of cars over here and see how it goes. Alright, so we got the rubber bumper there. This big old rubber bumper that's here on the corner. Just touching on the bumper in there. So everything should not connect. It should keep everything off as long as it doesn't skip sideways. Let's see if this works. Worked out perfectly. Got it all the way back where I wanted it. And nothing contacted. I'm still under pressure right now. and no metal to metal contacted. Thank God for that big old rubber bumper. Alright, now to clean off the trailer and stuff like that and get this trailer returned. You don't need to see that. Check in a while.